an explosion of real joy, of kind of eclectic urban culture. There's been street art, concerts, singing, dancing, people selling food. It's like a big picnic as well. Only once today, Fanula, did I see people getting angry. Only once did I see people getting angry, and that was when a police helicopter flew overhead about a half hour ago, and they started booing and hissing. Now, the scene is very different, just about 2 kilometers from here, as you'll see now.
Oliver Tansimer takes careful aim and shoots. The champion archer is training on a new archery range that was inaugurated barely a week ago by the Prime Minister of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan.
The Prime Minister is a perfect person. He has reconquered our hearts. We are proud and we thank the Prime Minister for this place.
The new archery range was built in Kasımpaşa, the proudly working-class neighborhood in Istanbul that the Turkish Prime Minister still calls home. The mood here, very different from nearby Taksim Square, where thousands of demonstrators have been calling for the Prime Minister to resign.
The neighborhood where Recep Tayyip Erdoğan grew up is located barely a mile away from the protests in Taksim Square. And while in some districts of Istanbul, residents have been banging pots and pans at night in protest against their prime minister, here locals proudly fly the flag of his ruling political party.
This neighborhood is a bastion of support for Erdoğan and his ruling Justice and Development Party, or AK Party.
We trust this government, AK Party, and Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. We trust too much.
Erdoğan has repeatedly dismissed the street protests that have spread across the country, calling them the work of a small group of troublemakers. On Monday, he reminded Turks that in the last national election, his party won 50% of the vote.
Currently, we are having difficulty in keeping at least the 50% of this country at home, and we are telling them to be patient and not to get trapped in these games.
Political scientist Cengiz Aktar interprets this statement as a threat.
If you put 2,000 people in the streets, I can put, 10 times more than that. I mean, this is a very irresponsible way of tackling the crisis, because that means, kind of civil war between people. I mean, is it the way you solve a crisis? I'm afraid not.
In Kasımpaşa, members of Erdoğan's 50% said they would take to the streets to defend their prime minister if they were asked.
Hopefully it wouldn't come to that point. The Prime Minister's gathered millions of supporters with a single word. But those who love this country don't want turmoil.
We don't take the protesters seriously because they are the minority. We are already the owners of this country.
Ominous words from Erdoğan's supporters, Turks who are convinced they are a majority that, for now, remains silent.
So there you have a view from some of Erdoğan's supporters, which we may see tomorrow when Erdoğan is expected to return from his 4-day trip to North Africa, return to Turkey. He took this trip in the midst of a crisis. Some people are arguing that that has allowed more diplomatic voices in his government to calm tensions, as we have seen here in what you could describe as the Republic of Taksim Square, Fanula.
All right, Ivan, a quick question, if I may, about the trades unions. They have joined these demonstrators. Has that had any significant impact on the strength of the protests?
Well, that it will certainly complicate matters for the government, because it's adding labor troubles to the existing political troubles. This is two of the largest confederations of trade unions. The government urged them not to take to the streets, that they do have the right to strike, of course, and we just have to see what kind of impact that could have on the economy. It's worth noting this is happening kind of at the height of the Turkish tourism season. Turkey earns a lot of money from tourism, and the images of the clashes of the past week certainly have not been a big help to hotel operators, particularly here in Istanbul. This is normally a place that's full of tourists at this time of year. Instead, there's been riot police, tear gas, and now this very bizarre, very eclectic, and very joyous scene, again, that I would describe as something similar to a counterculture festival.
All right. Ivan Watson has been reporting from Taksim Square for the past few days. Thank you for that. Let's get back now.